Okay, welcome back to the third video in the PBE spreadsheet series. This recording is going to be about how you actually submit any errors, any changes that you find, so that I can fix them. So we noticed one thing as we were going through in the last video. We noticed that on question number 3, this question on the third tab, question number 3, it's actually question 3508. We'll get to that in a second. This is not quite, the phrasing is a little clumsy. It would make more sense if the question said, Daniel did what in the reign of Darius and of Cyrus the Persian? What did he do? He prospered. So I'm going to recommend you do something like this as you're studying. Don't write it down. Don't try and remember it later. As you're going through and studying, make a note right away, right when you see it, and then you can find all of the questions that have problems later on and let me know about them. So how we're going to do this, I'm just going to make a note here, and I'm going to say something. You type right in the spreadsheet. Type right in the spreadsheet. I'm going to say something like, this question would make more sense if it read, Daniel did what in the reign, ... Okay? Make your description detailed enough so that when you come back and read it, you really remember, yeah, okay, yeah, that's exactly what I was mentioning. If you just say problem or not right, you might not remember later on what was the problem, what about it was not right. All right, so one more thing we're going to do. We need to be able to find these, because maybe in your first read through of all your questions you find 10, 15 questions that you think maybe should be changed a little bit, something wrong with them. We're going to use our color coding. We're going to come down here and we're going to set up a special color that means, hey, there's a problem. I'm going to use this light blue here. Pick whatever you want. But now, as I'm going through these, I see, oh well, I got a problem on question 3. I need to let them know so that they can fix that. I also know that as I'm getting to question 6, I see something strange here. That doesn't look like it's spelled right, and there's no way that this is an 11-point question. So this question here has 2 problems. So I'm going to make a note of that. Whose is spelled wrong. This isn't an 11-point question. Or maybe you could say something like, this should be a 1-point question, because that makes sense. And color code it. I'm going to use my light blue. All right, so now I know that I've got two questions here that have a problem, may have a problem. Now there may be a time when you're coming along and you get to this question. I'm going to clear this for just a second to pretend that this is the first time we've seen it. Maybe I'm reading this. Get rid of that too. So I come and I read this and I don't know the answer. So I look over here, oh, prospered. So I mark this as red because I got it wrong. But then I notice, you know what, that question could use some rewording. So I don't want, there's no way for me to flag a tab as both red and this light blue color. So if I were to just pick light blue, the red would go away and I wouldn't know that I got it wrong. So what do? It can't be 2 colors, but I do have 2 tabs. I could flag the question as red saying I got it wrong, and I could flag the answer blue to say, oh, there's a problem with it. And in this case, maybe I put I put my notation here on the answer sheet because that's the one that I've got blue with, so I can go right to the blue ones and I can see right here, this might read better if it said Daniel did what in the rain. Dot, dot, dot. Okay, so that makes sense. Now, suppose I've gone through all of the questions and I've got, you know, a half a dozen of these blue things. Well, what do you do then? You need to let me know. And to do that, email is best. I'm going to put my email on here so that you can send these to me. So what do you need to say in the email? Well, I'm going to bring up a blank email here. All right. And I'm going to tell you what works well for me, that I can get it fixed quickly. This is the email address that you should send it to, mmpbevideos@gmail.com. Subject, it can really be anything, but if I see something like this, spreadsheet corrections or spreadsheet problems or you know, question wrong, I'll know that there's something in there that I've got to fix. So let's get to our first tab, because question 3 here in my spreadsheet is our first problem. Now, what would I like to see in the email? Well, the first thing that I would really like to see that would really help is this number. This is the number of the question. So if I have this number, I know exactly which question it is you're talking about. If, for example, but if on the other hand you come back to me and say, the question about Daniel in the reign of Darius and Cyrus the Persian is wrong, well, it's going to take me forever to find that, because there may be more than one question that kind of meets what you're saying. So if you use this question number right here, that's going to help tremendously. It'll cut down a huge amount on the time that it takes to fix these. So in my email, I'm going to say something like this. I found these problems in the spreadsheet. You can say whatever you want, but here's the important part. Question 3508. It might be better to say Daniel did what in the ... Something like that. This right here is the big thing. Sometimes, even if I have that, I can look at the question right away and I can see what the problem is, even if you don't tell me. But please tell me. It makes it easier, because sometimes, you know, when we make these questions up, we have a way of thinking, and you know, other people have different ways of seeing a question, and they may see something that I don't. And then just by it being pointed out, I can say, oh, you know what? Yeah, that's I can see what you're talking about. That isn't clear. It would be better if we changed it to something else. All right. So that's one question. Let's jump to the next one, because we got more than one. All right. Question 1029. On question 1029, the word whose is spelled wrong, and it's not an 11-point question. I think it should be a 1-point question. There we go. Something like that is perfect. So all you got to do then is send this off to me, and I will get those fixed as soon as I can. One thing that you might want to do, though, once you do put those in an email and send them to me, clear these colors so that you know what, I've sent these. If I see them again, I know that if I don't clear these colors and I see them blue, I might come back later on and see them and say, oh, you know what, I gotta let them know. And then you're gonna send me a second email with the same problems in them. So once you do send the the errors to me, go ahead and clear the colors off of those tabs. Alright, if you have any questions about that, about the reporting errors, the process of reporting errors, just let me know. And again, I'll bring that email back up so you can see the email address. It's right here, mmpbevideos@gmail.com. Alright, thank you, and I hope that these videos help, and I hope that the spreadsheets help too. Hope you do really well in your competition. So, good luck.